Okay guys, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Welcome to our YouTube channel. In this tutorial, we are going to learn how to create a CRUD application using the Django, Ajax, and the jQuery. Actually, we'll be performing some basic operation like insert without page reloading, edit without refreshing the page, and delete without refreshing the page. How beautiful is Ajax and jQuery added the attractiveness and the usability and the user interaction when used in the Django web application. So what you need to expect at the end of this tutorial is to have a web app like you see on my desktop, right? So at the end of this tutorial, we'll be able to add a new student. Like here I'm going to add a new student with name Sarah, right? Then the email is, I can say Sarah at email saramotech at gmail.com, right? Then course is computer science, CS. So once I click save, you can see Sarah is added in student list of Motech University, right? No page refresh, no page reload, right? So here, if I want to edit student, I can click edit, and you can see here it is R. So I can say this is Anna. So I can say this is Ania. Then course is BIS, business information, BIS, business information system. Then I click save. You can see Ania, the course is BIS. So if I click delete, I delete the Moses without page refresh. But I can also delete I can delete also Ania without page refresh. So actually this is what you should expect at the end of this tutorial, so never escape. This is one of my masterpiece tutorial. In Spanish they say obra maestra, so this is one of my obra maestra tutorial. So I hope you'll enjoy. Never skip, keep on watching to enjoy the best of me. You're welcome. Okay guys, before we carry on, let me tell you the requirement you need to carry out this project. Actually, there are some skills you need to have before you join me in this project. You need Python basics, you need the Django basics, you need the basics of any JavaScript front end framework like React, jQuery, JavaScript, Ajax, and so on. But you need to have Python and the Django installed in your computer, but without forgetting the coding editor. So you can choose to have Visual Studio Code, you can choose to have PyCharm or Sublime Text. You can have them all, or choose one among them according to your flexibility and your preferences. So those are the key requirements for you to carry out this project. But this project is also divided in 5 parts. So this is still the Django Ajax jQuery CRUD app application. In part number 1, we had just an introduction. Okay, so in part number 2, we'll have a project setup where we'll create a project, creating an app, making some important configuration in settings, the PY, create a model, create a form. In part number 3, we'll perform insert by using Ajax without refreshing the page. In part number 4, we'll fetch information from the backend to the front end. Okay. And in part number 5, we'll perform the delete functionality. Then in last part, which is part number 6 of this tutorial, we'll perform the edit functionality without page refresh. This is the Django Ajax CRUD application. So we have done with part number 1, which was introduction and a demo of a project, and making and giving a bigger picture of what you should expect at the end of this tutorial. So welcome in part number 2, which is project setup. Okay, so what you need, as I told you, that you is according to your flexibility in choosing this different coding editor. There are so many, but it is the matter of your preference. So for my case, I'm using Visual Studio Code. Okay, so this is my Visual Studio Code. Let me cross this, let me terminate this project, right? Then I want to go on desktop. Let me browse anything from desktop, open folder, right? In desktop here, let me say I'm choosing this. Okay, then I open it. As I told you that you should make sure that you have already installed the Django and the Python in your computer. So let me cross this. Then after, let me open up a terminal. Okay, let me open up a terminal. Okay, so here what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure I create a project. Okay, I'm going to create a project in a desktop. So let me so the name of project is the Django Ajax. So Django admin start project Django Ajax. Okay, right, so let me change the directory to our project folder, which is Django Ajax, something like that. We have already created a Django project with the name of Django Ajax. So the next thing here is to create the application. So to create the application, the command is Django admin start up, Django admin start up, then the name of application, which is core, right? That's awesome. So here we have already created an application, and we have already created the Django project, which is called the Django Ajax. So let me browse the project folder on the desktop. Okay, so here you can see there is the Django Ajax. Let me open it up. Okay, so this is our project. Okay, this is our project. You can see this is main. So this is our application. So far so nice. We have already created a project. So we can open up a terminal and try out to run this project and see how it looks like. On web browser. Okay, so the command to run the Django project is python manage.py run server. So python manage.py run server. Okay, so this is just a command to run the Django project. So let me refresh the browser. Hope you'll see something. You can see this is first page or welcome page after successful installation of Django in computer. So the next thing here we are going to do is to make some important settings in settings.py, create Django forms and create Django forms and create the Django model. So this is still the Django Ajax CRUD application. Just grab a cup of coffee to warm up and fuel your mind for a Obra Maestra or masterpiece tutorial. So after creating a project and creating an app, let's go to open up our settings.py, which is the Django main configuration file, and add some settings over there. Okay, so I'll open it up by using Sublime Text Editor. So let me go on desktop. Okay, the Django Ajax, the Django, then settings.py. Okay, so here what I'll do is I'm going to copy this line. Okay, then you paste them here. Okay, I can paste them here, then you Control S. Then the next thing to do is to add the installed application. Okay, so in install the application, we need to register core, which is an application we have installed. So here we need to add it. This is an application. Then the next thing is to set up the database. Okay, so this is database, which is SQLite 3, which is the Django default database to be used. So I paste it here. Then the next thing to do is to make the settings of media file folder, which is a folder for storing uploaded files and static files. So let me copy this. Okay, I just copy it here and I'm going to paste here. Okay, so after that, the next thing, let me Control S to save the changes. The next thing we are going to do here is to create a model. Okay, creating a model and create the Django form. Okay, so but before we create the Django form and the Django model, let me show you something. We need to do something here. So let me open up Visual Studio Code. Okay, let me open up Visual Studio Code. I see the server is not running. Let me rerun the server to see if it's running. Okay, it's okay. So the next thing, in core here, we need to create another file, which is forms.py. So I'm going to create forms.py. Okay, after creating forms.py, the next thing is I'm going to create urls.py. So urls.py, that's it. So after creating forms and the urls.py, what I'm going to do here, let me open up this file. What I'm going to do here, let me copy this line and paste them in mains urls.py of the project. So let me show you. This is the Django Ajax. This is core. Open up the Django Ajax, then open up urls.py. So let me remove everything inside, then let me paste this. Okay, so here in urls.py of the main project, we have actually included the all urls from core.py, which is application, and make them to appear on the root web page of our Django application. So here there is no magic than registering or including the all urls of our application, which is core. Okay, so Control S to save the changes, and this is for debugging all files or folder from the media folder. So that's it. Let's open the URLs in our application, which is core. Okay, let's open it up. Then let's copy this. Okay, let's copy this. Then you paste them in URLs. So I just pasted them here. Control S to save the changes. Then after, the next thing we are going to do here is to make sure, let's create this view. So open up views.py and let's create one Django view, which is function based Django view. So here I can say home, okay, then a bracket, I let request, then after return render bracket, then a request, okay, comma, then a single quote, I can say call slash home.html, something like that. Okay, then after, let me go here in core. I'm going to create a folder. I'm going to create a folder, templates core, something like that. So here in core, I'm going to create home.html, html. Then I press enter. Then in home.html, let me write anything here. I can say here, the title, let me put Motec up. I'm too fast because even the project is too small for us. So here I can say hi Moses. Let me put this, and I can say hi Moses. Control S to save the changes. Then let's see if the server is running. So let me refresh this page and see what's happened. Call home, okay, does not exist real. So let me open up here. This is my project, core templates core. There is home.html. So what's wrong? Core home templates, then home.html. Okay, core slash home.html. the template does not exist. Okay, so let me see. Templates core. Core, I think, let me see if core is registered. Okay, install the app. Let me open the settings.py. Let me open the settings.py to see if core is registered in installed application. So let me check out here. Let me try to see core is registered. So never mind, let's try out to run the migrations. Okay, let's run migration first. Okay, Python manage.py, make key migrations. Okay, then you migrate Python manage.py, migrate. It's okay. So let's run the server once again. Okay, Let's run the server once again. Let me refresh. Okay, you can see here is Hi Moses. So this is just our home page. Okay, this is our main home page. So what we need to do right here is to create a model. Okay, as I told you that as I told you in the introduction part of this tutorial, I told you that we are about to create a CRUD application which is for storing which is for storing the information of students, right? Okay, so let's create the Django model which is student. So let me open up the model.py. Okay, let me open up the model.py. Let me first of all, let me close this. Let me close the settings. Let me close home. Also let me close form. Okay, let me close form. Let me close form, then open models.py. Okay, let me open. So here we are going to create a model called student. We're going to create a model student. Okay, so class student. So here the class student, the name of model is student. So class student, this is the name of our model to create. So class student, then models.model. So here let me do something, model.models. Okay, is models.model. Okay, it's models.model, then enter. So the first column is name. The name is models.churfield. Okay, then the max length is 200. So I put a bracket, the max length is 200, right? Then I press enter. The next column here is email. So models.email field, something like that. Then I put bracket to specify the max length, which is 200. Then after the last column we need is course, and the course is models.churfield. Then the max length is 200. Okay, that is our model student. So model in Django is like a table in MySQL. For those who have experience of coding in MySQL and PHP, so when we talk about model in Django, this is the same as when we are talking about table in PHP and MySQL. So here I'm going to create a Django model function which is str. This is for tracking what is happening in model. Okay, so self. Okay, self, here I need to return self.name. I need to return self.name. Okay, so return self.name. So that's it. Okay, so if we will be creating if we'll be adding maybe the student in the backend, will return with the name of a student, or if we'll be performing a query in the backend, so the name of a student will be like our tracking ID. What we see in the backend when a different operation are happening in model student. So let me Control S to save the changes. To have model exist in our application, we can run migration to the database. Okay, so before we run a migration to the database, okay, let's first run the migration to the database. So let me terminate the server, then the Django python manage.py make migration. I press enter, so you can see student model is created. Then we need to run a python manage.py migrate, okay, to make sure the model exists in our database. As long as we are using SQLite 3, here I have SQLite browser. Okay, so let me browse the database I'm using. Let me browse the database so as I can show you how the database is looking like. So I'm opening up the Django Ajax, then I'm opening up the SQLite 3. Right, so let me find the model student. You can see here, this is our created model or our created table in the Django. You can see ID, name, email, and the cause. Okay, so anything we insert will come to exist in our model. So that's it. So the next thing we're going to do here is trying out to create the Django form. So let's open up the forms.py and create a form. Let's create Obra Extra, a masterpiece form in the Django. So here what we can do before we create a form, because it's the Django model form, will import the model. As this form we are going to create is special for model student. So here we needed to import forms before. So from Django import forms. From the Django import forms. Okay, after importing forms we needed to import the model student. So from the Django models import student. So from models import student, which is the student model we have created. Then the next thing here we needed to do is to create the Django form. So the name of the form we are going to create is a student. So it will be class student form. This is the name of the form. Then a bracket. As I've told you that this is model forms. So forms dot model forms model form. Okay, then I need to specify here it is dot, not comma. So it is form dot model form, right? Then I press enter. Then the next thing here I need to specify the model by using class meta and the fields to be included in the form. So here I'm going to write class meta, right? Then I press enter. After that I'm going to specify the model for the form. So the model is student. After that I'm going to specify the fields of the model. I mean the fields to be included in the model among the fields present in the Django model. So I'll need all of fields like name. I need a name, email, and a cause. So I need the name of a student to be included in the form. I need the email to be included. Also, I need the cause of the student to be included in my form. So that's it. Let me Ctrl S to save the changes. So what here we have already created a Django model. Also, we have already created a Django form. So how do we render this form in the Django? So that is something we needed to do. Okay, so here we have model, also we have forms. So that's it. We needed to render the model in HTML. Okay, we needed to render the model here in HTML. So after creating the Django model and the forms, so let's do one thing. Let's open up the settings.py and I'm going to add this line. Okay, so import export. This is Python Django library for exporting model in CSV file. Okay, so add it, then open up admin.py. Okay, so the purpose of opening up admin.py is to register the model student we have created. Okay, so as we can be able to add manual and update manually the information present in the Django model student, right? So here I'm going to import export.admin. So from import export.admin, import we need to import export model admin, import export model admin. Okay, this one. Okay, so that's it. We also need to import the model student. So from dot models import student. So from dot models import student, right? That's it. So here we need to register the model student we have created. So here I'll say at admin dot register something like that, then a bracket. I pass in the name of the model, which is student, right? Then here I put class student admin bracket import export. Okay, so it is import export model admin, then path. Okay, Control S to save the changes. Then after, let's create a super user of this Django project. So the command to create the Django super user is python manage.py create super user. Okay, so the super user is Motec. Okay, the email is motec@motec.com. okay, motec@TechSky Enterprises. So let me say TechSky enterprises.com, and the password is motec1234 and a motec1234. Yes. Okay, then run the server. After that, let's go to login as admin. So let me open this. Let me copy. I don't need to copy. Let me just type here admin. Then I can log in as Motec, right? Then my password is Motec1234. I press login to log in. You can see here this is a student model. Okay, here you can see we can import CSV, we can export CSV, and we can add a student. So let me add the student. So the first student is Moses. That's my name, and my email is Moses at TechSky Enterprises, .com, right? .com. Then in the course, this is my course. I hold the degree of computer science and information security. Then I press save. Okay, I can see what's happening. You have entered the invalid email. Oh, Jesus Christ. So let me say the email is mosesmotech@gmail.com. Save. Okay, so one student is added, and that's why we use the import export library, which help us to add the data in model by using a special file like CSV. Here you can see import. You can import a file of different format like CSV, Excel, JSON, and so on. Okay, but we also registered the model, which is a student in admins.py. So after that, let's go in. Let me open up this home.html. Okay, and here let me load the form. Okay, before loading the form, let me modify this. I need to import form. So here I can say from dot forms. I can import student form. Okay, I have already imported the student form, and here I can say form is equal to student form bracket. Here I load the empty student form, then I put it in context, something like this. Then context, this is Python dictionary. So here I say I can say form, something like this, then form. After that, I want this form to be rendered. Okay, so let me Control S to save the changes, then open home.html. So underneath of Hi Moses, I need to load the form. So here I can say this is a form. Okay, something like this. Here I can set up action. Okay, I can set up action. I can pull the methods, but also I can prevent the form from CSRF attack by doing something like this. I think the concept is CSRF token. Okay, and here I can load the form. Okay, I can load the form inside. Can say form as P. Okay, so here I can do something like this, form dot as P. Okay, let me Control S to save the changes. Then let me refresh my main web page. Okay, you can see this is our form. Okay, we have already rendered it together with HTML template. Okay, so this is the form. So underneath or inside your form, I can add something here, like I can input here. I can set type, this is button. Okay, then I can put the class, which is button. Okay, button success. Okay, here I can set the value, like here I can say save. Control S to save the changes, then refresh your page. You can see this is button. Okay, so you can see this is our form. So what we need to do here before we go on is to link our page with Bootstrap. So how do we do this? Okay, so let me come here underneath of title, I can say link. Okay, link, and the source here I can say I can do something like this. This is the source static. This is the source static. Then core slash css slash bootstrap. Okay, so in this is project folder. So inside the core, create a folder named static. Then inside the static, you create another folder named the core. Then inside the core, make sure you have css, which stores bootstrap. Okay, store bootstrap. And also js, which is store jQual.js, proper.js, and bootstrap.js. So here we are linking our bootstrap. We are linking our page with bootstrap. So I pasted this and I put css. Control S to save the changes. But before anything, we need to load the static. Okay, so this is the Django tag which helps us to load the static file. So here I can say load static. Control S to save the changes. Then let's get back on the browser, refresh the page. Okay, you can see save, right? It's really looking awesome. So let me remove this, and I want to partition this page nicely. Okay, I want to partition this page nicely by using Bootstrap. So let me open up it with by using Sublime Text Editor. So let me come here. Okay, this is a template, home. Okay, so here what I can do, I want to, let me put it, this is a div actual. Okay, and the class is container fluid. I can say this is container fluid. Then here I can say div. Here I can say this is div class raw. Here I can put heading. I can say heading 1. I can say the Django Ajax CRUD application. I can say the Django Ajax CRUD application. CRUD application. Okay, and here I can specify the class of this. I can say text center, then alert danger. Okay, alert danger. Then after, inside the row, I can say div class call sm. Here I can say this is call sm4. Let me copy this, let me paste it. Here I can say this is call sm7, this is call sm7, and this is call sm1. Okay, so here I can do one thing, I can do one magic here. Okay, here I can put another heading. Okay, here I can put another heading. I can say list of students in Motech University. List of students in Motech University. Okay, list of students in Motech University. List of students in Motech University. Okay, here I can specify the class. Yeah, okay, let me copy this. I can copy this, then I paste it here. I can set the class as info and not danger. Okay, I can set info not danger. Okay, then in the next thing I can do here, let me put heading here. Let me put heading here. I can specify the class. Here I can also say the class. Let me specify the class. Here I can say also is class info. Okay, here I can say add slash update student, add slash update student, something like that. Then after here, okay, this is still part number 1 of this video, so never scared. So let me remove this. Okay, let me cut this form and paste it inside, or let me paste it here. Let me Ctrl S to save the changes and then refresh the browser to see what's happened. Wow, it's really looking awesome. You can see here add update list of students in Motec University, the Django Ajax CRUD application. So let me make some changes one more here. This is container fluid, not fluid. Ctrl S to save the changes. Then let's try out to refresh. Okay, it should look like this. So underneath here, let's add some script. Okay, here you can say script. Okay, here let me put the source. Let me just do something like this. Let me copy this. Okay, this is the link of jQuery. Let me paste it here. So here we link jQuery, here we link popper.js, and here we link up bootstrap.js. So let me Ctrl S to save the changes. Then if I refresh here, you can see our page is still the same. So we are done with part number 2 of this video, which is project setup. Okay, project setup and creating a home page template. But before I end this part, let me modify this form. Okay, I want it to look very nice. So let me open up forms.py. Let me open up forms.py, and here in forms.py, let me add something called the widget. Okay, so I'm going to add something called the widget. Okay, so widget, something like that. Then inside, I'm going to have let me do something like this. Here I can say I have name. Okay, so I have name. I can say forms.text input, forms.text input. Okay, name forms.text input bracket, then attribute is equal to, this attribute should be the class form control. So let me do something here. I can say class form control. Okay, should be class form control. Okay, then after I needed to add the ID. Okay, so the ID is name ID. So let me put comma here. I can say ID is name ID. I'm done. I can copy this and paste it. I can paste it here. Here I can put comma. Also here I can put comma, and you can see everything is cool. Here I can say this is email ID. Here I can say this is course ID. Okay, this is course ID. And the email ID here I can say this is email input, not text input. So here I can say this is email input, and here I can say the name here is email. Okay, and the name here I can say this is course. Let me Control S to save the changes. Then let me get back on the browser to refresh and see how Opera Maestra the form is looking like. Okay, you can see now the form is pretty cool. Okay, so this is actually the part number 2 of this video. In part number 1 we had the introduction of the course. In part number 2 we have done a lot of things. We have created a Django project, we created the Django application, we created the Django forms, we created the Django model, we created our first view and linked or mapped it in urls.py of core, which is our application. We registered a model in admins.py. We made some important configuration like registering install the app in setting.py, setting the static files, configuring the database to be used. We made the migration to the database by running migration. We did a lot of things in part number 2. So in part number 1 we are going to start the Ajax. Okay, we are going to start Ajax, how we can let me see. Okay, we are going to implement the insert, how we can insert something in Ajax without page reload. But before we insert something, let's first fetch the information of student we have registered in model student. So let me add another student here. I can say the another student is I can say the another student is Sarah. Okay, another student is Sarah. The email is Moses. Course I can say software engineering, and I can hit the save. Okay, so in the next session we'll fetch the information of these two students and display them here. Okay, then after that will be the part number 3 of this video. Then in the part number 4 we'll insert the information of student without the page load. So get prepared, grab another cup of coffee just to fuel up your body and your mind. Promise you, this is Opera Maestra tutorial. This is masterpiece tutorial. So pay attention and enjoy the best of me. Okay guys, this is part number 3 of the Django Ajax CRUD application. In a previous session we covered how to render this interface as you can see it. So in part number 3 we are going to fetch information from model student and display them here. Okay, so let me do, it's pretty simple. So let me open up here. Here I needed to import from .models import student. Okay, also I needed to import JSON response. So from Django.http import, we needed to import JSON response. That's it. So here I'm going to do one thing. I can say student is equal to student.objects.all. Select everything from model student, then I'm going to put them here. You can say I'm going to put them in a Python dictionary. So after that I'm going to open up home.html by using Sublime Text Editor. So this is home.html. Okay, this is home.html. So in home.html, first of all, let me make some changes. This should be heading 4. So let me put 4 here. Okay, but also this should be heading 4. So here I put 4. Control S to save the changes. So in this section I needed to display table. Okay, so here I can say table. This is our table. So here it is classy. It's table classy hover. Okay, so table hover. Here is table hover. Okay, so this is the class of our table. Then table head. Okay, table head, then table row. After table row I need th. Okay, something like that. Then scope is call. Then let me copy this, paste here. So here I'll say this is ID. Okay, I can put it something like this. I say this is ID, this is the name of student, this is email, this is course a student is studying, and here is an action. An action may be edit, delete, or update. Okay, so that's it. So after table head, here we need to have table body, something like this. Okay, so inside the table body, here let me put ID is equal to table body. Okay, then after, okay, table body, then here I'll do the Django loop. I can say for stu, for st in stu. Okay, then and for here and for. So inside I can put table row, then table data td, something like this. Then inside I can do something like this. I can say something like this, dotty. Then I can copy this. Okay, here I can say st dot id, here st dot name, here sd dot email, and here sd dot course. Okay, something like that. Then the last table data is input, which is button. Here I can put type, like type is button. Value is edit. Okay, cross, the cross is button warning, button sm, button warning, warning, button sm, button edit. So let me copy this, then you paste it here. Here instead of edit, I would like to put delete. Okay, and here it should be danger, not warning, danger. The next thing I needed to put in this button is data sid. Okay, so here I can say data dot sid is equal to double quote. Here I can say data dot sid, something like that. Let me Control S to save the changes. Then let me go to refresh the browser. Okay, so let me refresh. Wow, it's looking awesome. You can see here ID, name, email, and the calls. Here delete is not really looking awesome. What's happening? So let me check out here. It is danger. Okay, this should be danger. Control S to save the changes. Then let me get back on the browser, refresh this. Oh, it's really looking awesome. So this is actually the end of part number 3 of this tutorial, the Django Ajax CRUD application. We are trying to implement all create, read, delete, and edit application without page reloading. So here we have already fetched the information from user. Okay, here I can add some another student. I can say this is Anie. Okay, no, let me say this is Tiago. Okay, the email is, the course is, this should be telecommunication engineer. Then save. Okay, Tiago is saved. If I refresh here, you can see Tiago is successful added. So this is part number 3 of the Django Ajax CRUD application. So in part number 4, we are going to implement Ajax and jQuery on how we can save or we can insert information of student without refreshing a page. Okay guys, in a previous session we covered how to fetch information from backend on to frontend, right? So in this part number 4 of this, the Django Ajax jQuery CRUD application, we are going to start with Ajax and jQuery manipulation of DOM. Okay, so here I'm going to create another file and I name it ajax.html. Okay, inside the ajax.html I write a script. So inside I'll put everything, every JavaScript source code. So I needed to include this ajax.html in home.html, right? So the purpose is to write separately the Ajax code in HTML file, then include it in home.html, because if we would be writing in the same file, possible we would have a lot of confusing source code. So let me include here at the body. So here at the body, I include it like this. So this is include score, then ajax.html. Okay, so Control S to save the changes. So how do we test if ajax.html is included? So here I can write something like this. Can say hi Moses. So let me refresh the browser. Now you can see hi Moses is displayed here. This means ajax.html is included. Okay, so let me remove this as no meaning. So here we are going to start with basic inserting operation. So here I can say save data. Okay, save data. So we want to trigger an event when a button save is clicked. So here button, in a button save, let me put ID save. Okay, So this is button. Okay, let me set id is equal to save. Okay, so here I can say id is equal to save, button save. Okay, button save. Then I control S to save the changes. Then in ajax.html, what I'm going to do here is I do something like this. Then I put bracket. Okay, then a button save dot click. So when this button is clicked, so button save dot click, then a bracket function. So when this button is clicked, the following function will be executed. So what we want to execute if button save is clicked, I would like it to display something. Let me say that console dot log, then I put a bracket. I can say button save clicked. Button save clicked. Let me control S to save the changes. Then let me get back on the browser. Let me refresh this. Okay, let me click it, then inspect. Okay, so here this is console. You can see this is console, this is network. Let me click on console. So this is console. What happens if I click this button? You can see button save click. Oh Jesus Christ, it should be button save clicked. Okay, now let me refresh this page. So what happens if I click this button? You can see button save clicked. So the source code is button save dot click then function. So this will be executed once button save is clicked. So we can do something here inside. Okay, we can do something here inside. Let me get back on the browser. Let me close this. Let me right click then view source code. So here you can see these are our input box. You can see here name has id of name id. Okay, email has id of email id. You can see here name id, email id, and there is course id. So these form input field have id. Okay, there is email id, course id, and the name id. So let's specify them in Ajax here. So here I can say let n stands for name. Okay, I would say something like this. Then I put a bracket. Okay, then this is name id. Okay, dot val. Let me copy this. So name n stand for name, e stand for email. So here is email id, and c stand for course. C stand for course. So here I can say this is course id. Okay, so here we have nec. I want to specify something here to check if we can grab something which is present inside of this input field. Okay, so here I can put function if name is equal to null. Okay, if name is equal to null, then you do the following. I can say console dot log, then let me put a bracket here. I can say please enter the name, please enter name. Okay, please enter name, else if bracket if email is equal to null. Okay, Then you do the following. I can say console.log bracket, then please enter an email. Please enter email. Here it should be please enter name. Okay. Then else if the cause is equal to null, we can tell a user that console.log bracket please, can say please enter cause, not enter cause, please enter the cause you study. Okay. Else means everything is okay, so we can display to the user console.log and display to the user console.log name. Let me copy this. So console.log.name, email, and the cause. So let me Control S to save the changes, and let me get back on the browser. Let me refresh this. Okay, let me right click, then inspect. Okay, so this is console. What happens if I click save? You can see, let me comment this button, save quickly. Okay, let me get back here. Let me comment this. This is how to comment. Let me refresh this. So let me click save. You can see please enter name. So here I can say Moses. Let me hit submit. Please enter an email. Oh, Jesus Christ. So let me submit. Please enter cause. Enter cause you study. So click save. You can see Moses, or Moses, and the CIS. So we are able to capture everything which is typed by user in input box, in input field. So this was just the purpose, okay, to check out if we are able to grab everything which is typed in by user. So that's it. So another thing here, the action, the method of a form is posty. So let me specify posty. Okay. So after being able to capture everything which is submitted by user, the next thing is to create the Django view, which will be for saving this information to the model student. So after ensuring that we capture everything user input, so what we need to do here, let's create the Django view, okay, which will be special for accepting information from front end, then saving them in a database. Okay, so here I'm going to create the Django function view, which is called save data, then a request. Okay, let me press enter. So let me press enter. So if request.method is equal to post, do the following. Okay, if request.method is equal to post, then you do the following. We first need to accept everything from form. So form is equal to student form, then a bracket request.post. Okay, Then after, we need to unpack the name, email, and cause. But let's check if the submitted form is valid. So if form dot is underscore valid, then accept information is submitted in a form. So let me take it back to the browser first, then let me close this. Okay, let me right click, then select view page source. As I told you, here you can see name is equal to name, right? And email is equal to email. The name of email is email, and the name of course, is course. So let me add the method here. The method of the form, the method of form is posty. The method of form is posty. I don't see here. Actually, the method of form is posty, but never mind. So in views, what we can do here is name is equal to request dot post, then square bracket name. So let me copy this and paste it more. So here I can say email. Here I can say student course. The student is studying. So here I can say this is course, student is studying. And here this is email. So I hope we imported it model student, and here I'm going to use it. S is equal to student, which is model, then a bracket, name is equal to name, okay, comma, email is equal to email, comma, and password, no, not password, course, student course is equal to course. All right, then after s dot save is the Django method for saving information in a database. Then you return JSON response, then I put a bracket here, okay, then I can say something like this, status. Here let me say data saved, okay, data saved, then else return JSON response bracket, then something like this. Inside there put status, then I can say unable to save, that's it. But here let me import something from, I can say from Django, Django.views.decorators, from Django.views, from Django.views.decorators.csrf, import csrf exempt. Then here I can this is for preventing against the CSRF attack. Then let me Control S to save the changes. Let me go in view in URLs. This is main URLs of project. So let me go to the URLs of app. Let me copy this, and here I can say save, something like this. Then views, here I can say save data, okay, save data. Here I can say save. That's right. So let's get back in our Ajax. So here I'll put some comments, okay, let me put comments, something like that, because we are now sure that the input, anything typed in input box are captured by our Ajax. So let's do something. Okay, so here as I specified that N stands for name, E stands for email, and C stands for a course student is studying. So here let me say my data is equal to, let me do something like this. Then inside here I can say name is equal to name, then email, something like this, email, then course is equal to C. That's it. Then let me use Ajax here. So dot Ajax, okay, something like this. Then I think it should be something like this. That's okay. So inside here I need to specify the URL, okay, the method, the data, and the success function. So here URL, I can say URL is the URL is, let me do something here. I can do something like this, and I say URL is equal to save. Okay, here I can put comma. The method is post, so I type in post, and okay, it's a post. Then data to be submitted is equal to my data. Okay, so URL is save, method is post, data is equal to data. Then let me write success. Here I can say success function. Okay, okay, here I can say console.log this pass, okay, data, excuse me guys, and here I can say data dot status. It should be something like that. So if success, then we need to see the status. Okay, so let me Control S to save the changes. Let me get back on the browser. Okay, let me close this tab. Okay, so let me refresh this. It's okay. So let me open up inspect. So this is our console. Okay, so let me say the name of new student is Jamila. Email of Jamila is Jamila. Let Jamila use the default email moses@gmail.com. Then the course is computer science. Let me hit the save button. Oops, we can see there is unquote. Email is not defined. Okay, email is not defined. And let me see here at the backend. Any error? There is no error. So let me yes, it's true, email is not defined, it is E. Okay, Control S to save the changes. Then let me hit submit, save. Oh, what's long? Okay, Jamila, let me refresh here. Okay, no new student is added. So let me do something like this. Okay, let me say Jamila. Email is moses@gmail.com. Cause cs save. Oh, data saved. Wow, we can save data without refreshing a page. How grateful do you feel? Let me refresh here. You can see Jamila. Okay, so we can add some more. I'm so happy. Here, let me say Moses. Here you can see this is the input field is email. Okay, as defined from the form. Let me show you the form. You can see here it is email input, and also if I show you in the model, this is email field. So let's try to put it like a blah normal text without email. Cause the cs, I expect here to see what. Let me show you. I expect here to see it should not show. It should not show, or it should not submit. Unable to save. Wow, this is amazing. It is unable to save. Okay, unable to save. As you can see from our views here, in our views here, we said if not able to save, it should return a JSON response which is unable to save. Okay, here I can say unable to save data, and you can see how magic it is. So let me try out to submit unable to save data. So that's it. We have successfully implemented the insert of student information in model student without refreshing the page. So actually this is an end of party. I think this is party number 3. Party number 1, it was introduction. Party number 3, it was a project setup and so on. And then we created an interface, forms, and blah. Party number 3 was how to fetch information from backend by using the Django. This is party number 4. So actually this is an end of party number 4. See you in the next party, which is party number 5, where we are going to make sure that when user submit information here, it clears the form and the information is automatically added here without refreshing. Okay, so get prepared. Don't get tired. Okay, this is awesome. Obra Maestra. Before we go to part number 5, let's add something here. You can see if we add something, like let me add this. Okay, oops, unable to save. So let me do something here. Okay, if I click, you can see data saved, but it is not fetched here. Okay, until we refresh the browser. So what I want to implement here is once the data is inserted, it fetch or it update the inserted data. Okay, so let me open Ajax here. So here inside of success, let me do something here. Okay, so let me comment this. Okay, then after first of all, let me go in views. Here in views, I can do something here like here I can say this is save. Here I can say stu is equal to student dot objects dot all, then a bracket, excuse me, dot values. Okay, something like that. Then I need to pass this information of student. Okay, so first of all, let me say student data. Let me convert it into Python list. So bracket, then is 2. Okay, so this will select all information from model student as values, and they will be converted into Python list. Then after, what's going to be done here is I need to send it. So here I can say student. Okay, can say student data. So here I can say student data. Okay, student data, something like that. Okay, student data. So let me Control S to save the changes. Then let me open up Ajax. So here I can do something like I can say x is equal to data dot student inside the success. Should be something. X is equal to student is equal to data dot student data. Okay, so that is information of student. Then I would like to specify the statement here. I can say if okay, if data dot status is equal to if data dot status is equal to data saved. Okay, then do the following inside. Okay, then also let me copy this. Here I can say this is console.log bracket data submitted successful. Okay, can say just the data submitted. Then if the status is equal to if the status is equal to unable to save data, let me say not saved. Also here let me change can say not saved to keep it short. So not saved, data saved. So here I can say if data.status is equal to not saved, then console.log bracket that unable to submit data. Unable to submit data. Okay, so it should be something like this. short and clear. So here, let me add something here. Let me add another variable here. Say output is equal to, okay, so if data dot status is equal to data saved, then console.log data saved. So if data is saved, so we want it to you know what, we want it to display the saved data. Okay, so here I can say for bracket I is equal to 0, then comma I is greater than x dot length, then I should increment. Okay, then inside here I need to do something. I need to do small, to do something. So let me take output, okay, is equal to, then I can say tr td, okay, td, then I want to display the id, okay, x I dot id, okay, I dot id, then after I need to do something like this. Okay, x I dot name, okay, then let me just copy this, okay. I also need an email, so x square bracket I dot email. Then the next thing I need is I need the course of student, something like this. Pretty cool. So I dot course, okay. Then the next thing I need is I need a button here. So let me take this let me copy this button here. I copy this, right, then I paste it here, okay, paste it here. So here I can say this is Dell, this is button danger, right, button danger, this cross, okay, button, so this should be the value, this should be something like this, Okay, should be something like this. This input type. Okay, so let me add it. Okay, so something like that. Single quote. This should be delete. Okay, this should be delete. And so here data SID should be .id. So it should be data SID. Okay, let me also copy this. Okay, so this is input. Okay, this should be okay. After that, the next thing we need to do here is to make sure that after submitting of a form, we clear the form. Okay, so let me do something here. You can say bracket form. Okay, dot form dot reset. So once the form is submitted, we want to reset a form. I mean to clear everything from to clear everything in a form. Okay, so let me add here double quote. Okay, then after, the next thing to do here is I can see here there is error, so let's do something like this. Okay, and let's do something like this. You can see no error. So the next thing is to make sure the new added data is loaded in table body. So here I can say okay, okay, so tbody dot html, then a bracket output. Okay, then Control S to save the changes. So let me show you home.html. You can see here ID is tab tbody, which is here. Okay, so let me try out to refresh. You can see there is no error. So let me delete some student. Let me delete this. Okay, and add a new student. Yes, I want to delete them. Yes, so let me refresh the page. Let me try out to add a new student. Here I can say James. Email is james2000@gmail.com. Oh, let me say at yahoo.com. Then cause is business information system, BIS. What happened if I click save? Wow, you can see new student is added, the form input field are cleared, and everything is okay. So now you can see we can add some more student. Okay. If I click save, you can see new student is added. So the next thing I'm going to do, which will be covered in party number in the next session, in short, is how to delete student without reloading the page. Okay guys, in this session we are going to implement delete functionality. In a previous session we covered how we can insert information of new student and the list of students in Motec University to be updated without the page refresh. Okay, so in this session we are going to cover how we can delete students. Okay, so let's go and start by creating the Django view, and the name of this view I'm going to say def delete data, delete underscore data, then I put bracket request as normal as usual. Then inside I'm going to do the following. So I'm going to check if the request, the method of form is equal to post. Okay, then if the method of form is equal to post, the next thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to take the ID of student to be deleted. So I can say request dot post dot get bracket, I want to get SID, student ID. Okay, then the next thing I'm going to do here, I can print, no need to print, but we have already captured the ID of student to be deleted. So here I can say student is equal to students. Okay, student dot objects dot get bracket pk is equal to ID. pk is equal to ID. Then after I can say s dot delete to delete a specific student with a specific ID. So here if I say s dot delete, I have removed or I have totally disappeared this student from our model. So here I can return JSON response. Inside I can put a bracket, then do something like this, and I can say status. I can say status equal to 1. Then else return JSON response. I put a bracket, then a curly bracket. I can say status equals to 0. Okay, so that's it. Here it is, should be status equals to 0. So let me Control S to save the changes. Then what I need here to do, let me go in urls.py. I can copy this dish. Then here I can say delete, right? Here I can say delete. Here I can say delete data. Delete data, and here I can say delete. Okay. So after that, let me go in ajax.html. Okay. Let me go in ajax.html. So yeah, I can do something like this. So here let me write this is delete. So we are going to delete a student. So here I can say something like this, and I can put a bracket, then I can say t-body, okay, dot on bracket double quote click, then click, not function, so it's click, then dot button del, okay, then function, okay. So it should be like this, right? Okay, so t-body on a click button del btn, you know this button, this one I can show you here, button del input button value delete. Here you can see btn del, this was btn edit, but also in HTML I can show you here the button was delete, okay, delete. So here it should be button del, okay, btn del, Control S to save the changes. Then in Ajax here, okay, here I've forgotten, excuse me, it is t-body, okay, t-body dot on click dot button del, then function. So here I can say console, oh I remember I had a classmate named the consolata. So here console.log delete button click the delete button click the console or consolata. So console.log bracket double quote button delete button click this. So let me come here, let me try out to refresh, then let me control inspect, okay. So let me try to click here, or delete button click the, or delete button click the, you can see that's pretty. So this is t-body on click button del. So what we can do here is what we can do here, let's try out to capture, let's try out to capture the ID of row. Let ID is equal to bracket this dot something like this, attributes data sid, put bracket data.sid, data.sid. Okay, okay, data.sid. I can try out here. Let me say, let me try to do console once again. Consolata. Let me try. Okay, so let me refresh. Okay, let me click delete button, click delete. Don't see the ID. Okay, no worry. I'll try to do something like this. Let me refresh. Uncode. Okay, okay, let me leave as it is. So let me delete this. So that is ID of a row to be deleted. Then my data is equal to sid, is equal to id. Okay, then the next thing to do here is this. Dot Ajax. Okay, so inside the Ajax, I would like to specify the URL as normal as usual, as the rule of thumb. I can say URL is delete. So the URL is delete, the method is post, the method is post, data is equal to my data. Okay, then success function do the following. Okay, success function, so let it path the data. Then here I can say console.log data. Let me Control S to save the changes. Okay, so let me refresh here. Okay, let me refresh the page. Okay, I can see uncaught error property. Let me see this error. Uncaught. Okay, so let me get back here. So this should be it is not this in search. I think it should be something, but never mind. Let's scale on writing the success. Let's write the success. So if data.status is equal to 1, if bracket data.status is equal to 1, then do the following. Yes, just .log data deleted. Data deleted. Okay, then my this dot bracket my this dot cross set table row fade out. So it should be something like this. But also, if the status is equal to 0, let me just copy this. Can copy this and paste it here. If status is equal to 0, unable to delete. Unable to delete data. Okay. Let me Control S to save the changes. But I think my this here, it should be something like this. I guess something like this. Let me Control S to save the changes. Then let me refresh. Okay, you can see still there is error. Okay guys, we see this error. Okay, so let me see. Let me click here and see. We can see data is equal to data. Uncaught syntax error involved the shorthand property initializer. So let me come here in Ajax.html, and here it should be something like this. Let me Control S to save the changes. Let me refresh. Okay, it's awesome. No backend error. Let me add some new student. Let me say this is Django, and the email is Moses course CS. Okay, I can add some other student. I deleted them. This is Sarah. Okay, this was my ex-girlfriend. So T, this is the cause. That's awesome. So let me try out to delete Sarah. I can see error. What is this error? Okay, let me see in the backend. Field ID expected a number but got 14. So let me come here in home, home.html. So st, here the lawyer, stid, student. So here let me pass the student ID, right? I can say s.id path student ID, right? I can say then Control S to save the changes, and okay, so let me get back here. Let me try to delete this button. Deleted quickly. Oops, let me see. View URLs, view. So here you can see it is started. So let me put a status here, then let me refresh. What if I want to delete Tiago? Wow, now you can see we can delete without refreshing the page, and the changes are reflected. So let me add some more student, like let me say James. I don't care about email. This is BIS, Business Information System. Consolata. No, not Consolata. Someone Janet. Email is Janet is20 at yahoo.com. Course is IS Information System. I can add some other user like John Bosco. Email is jb at softpc.com. Course CIS. This is my friend. So here I can say Baraka Mbugwa. Okay. Email is Mbugwa Elizabeth at gmail.com. Right. Course is Eliza was studying health, HIS, health information system. So what if I want to delete Janet? Boom. Okay, let me delete James. What's happening? Okay, let me try to delete Janet. Okay, let me try out to delete Baraka. Yes, now you can see we can delete without refreshing the page. So we are actually heading at the end of this course. The last and the next functionality to be implemented is edit. Okay, is edit functionality. But here you see there is CSLF exempt, which is for preventing against CSLF. You can see here. Okay, so we are going to implement the last functionality, which is edit. So don't worry, we are going to kill this soon. Okay guys, let's implement the last functionality, which is edit, so as we can close this course. Okay, it's enough. So what I can do here, I'm going to start by creating the Django view. Okay, so I would like to copy this, okay, and paste it here. Then after I'll create the Django function based view with the name edit data, then a request, do something like this. Okay, so this is the Django function for editing data. So inside of this function, as normal as usual, if request dot method to check the method of a form is equal to post, I need to get the SID. So ID is equal to request.post.get. ID is equal to request.post.get, then bracket SID. Okay, so this is SID, student ID. Then student is equal to student dot objects dot get pk is equal to ID. Okay, then after what I'm going to do here is I can say student data is equal to, I can say student data is equal to bracket, I can say ID is equal to student.id, comma, name is equal to student.name, okay, comma, I need email, which is equal to student.email, email, comma, also I need the email, I need the student course, which is student.course. Then after, I need to return student data as JSON response. So here I can say return JSON response bracket, and I can say student data, okay. So here I can say student data, student underscore data, then student data. That's it. So this is our edit function in the Django. So I can map the function to the URL by including it in urls.py. So here I can say edit. Here I can say edit. Okay. Also here I can say edit. Control S to save the changes. Let me open up home.html. So here I will include, let me put something here. I can say input. Okay. Input. Here I can set type. Let me say hidden. Then in name, student id, and id is equal to id. Okay, let me Control S to save the changes. Then let me open up this view. Okay, this is save. Okay, so this is save. Here what I can do here, I want to get SID. So here I can say SID is equal to request dot post dot get student ID bracket like this, student ID. Okay, so that is student ID. Then here I can say if bracket, if student ID is equal to bra. Okay, if stu ID, if SID is equal to if SID is equal to null, then do the following. If SID is equal to null, then I would like to take this. Let me cut this and paste it inside, but I would also like to copy it. So else, okay, want to do something here. So if SID is equal to null, then you take this. But if SID is equal to something, then what we need to do here is we can say ID is equal to SID. Then save for here s.save. Okay, so it follows. Okay, I'm starting to confuse between JavaScript and the Python, but don't worry. Okay, No worry, no worry. Okay, so it should be something like this. So if sid is equal to null, then save, but if not, then do something like this. Okay, then save the information to the database. The next thing we can do here, let me Control S to save the changes. Let me go to Ajax. I want to check something here. I want to check something here. I think this should not be here, at least. Also, this should not be here, at least. Then Control S to save the changes. Then this was delete function, so I would like to copy it and edit some few. Okay, so let me copy this and paste it here. Okay, let me delete this, everything from inside. Here it is edit. Here I can say edit button clicked, edit button clicked, but also here it is button dot edit. The next thing is the next thing to do here is here. What I can do is I needed to put something inside. So let me comment this, and here let me put so here I can say stu_id dot val bracket data dot id. So let me copy this, paste here. So this is a student ID. So I put email ID, student name ID. So here I can say this is a name. After that, email ID. So data.email. Then the last thing is cause, which is cause. Let me Control S to save the changes. So let me refresh our application. Let me inspect here to see if there is any error. Okay, there is no error. Let me click delete edit button, edit clicked, but I don't see anything here to edit. Let me click this button, edit clicked. So I think there is something more I need to do here. Button edit. So let me come here, make sure the button is edit. Okay, button edit, student ID, then in Ajax .html, let me see, edit, button edit SSID. So what is wrong? Let me Control S to save the changes, but let me see what is happening in the backend. Okay, let me see what is happening in the backend. So let me refresh this. Let me click edit. Okay, let me see what is causing or preventing us from editing. Okay, so if we still can't edit, okay, let me inspect. Click on edit. Nothing I can see here. I can't edit. Click on edit. You can see Hi Moses undefined. So what I can do here, let me change this. Let me remove this. Then Control S to save the changes. So let me refresh the browser. If I click edit, you can see this happen here. If I click edit, let me say Moses. Let me say the Moses. If I click save, you can see it add another data but not edit. So let's check out how we can deal with this. So let's try one more to edit. So let me click on James and I say here, let me add I, then save. Oops, I can see nothing. So let me refresh. So let me click here and I say this is James. Okay, you can see it duplicate. So what we can do here, let me come here. Okay, so let me enlarge this. Here we should have SID. Okay, this SID. Then after here we should have stu ID. Then you click Control S to save the changes. Then let me refresh. So here it is James. So let me try out to put David. Then you click save. James David. So let me edit here. Let me say Davido, not David. So Davido. Oops, still there are some nothing. Okay, so let me try once again. Davide. Okay, let me delete this. Let me refresh and try once again to edit. Save. Okay. So here this is STID. Control S to save the changes. Then let me delete this. Here let me set this is Davido. Then save. You can see changes are reflected. Here let me remove I. Let me say this is James. Changes here, not Moses. I can put the Moses. Okay, changes are reflected. So actually I can say this is an end of CRUD application in the Django and Ajax. We have successful implemented insert without page refresh. We have successful implemented delete without page refresh. We have also implemented edit without page refresh. So actually I can say this is an end of this tutorial, but if you find out this tutorial is helpful, you can thumb me up, put like, you can put comment, right, and you can subscribe for update of other Opera Maestra tutorial, for the masterpiece coming tutorial. But if you find this video is helpful, you can share it to your friend, your colleague, and so on. Let's learn it together and spread the knowledge of the Django, what you have shared to others, so as we can learn each other, then help each other, and build a world of high technology and science. So actually, I can show you. Let me open up. This is Ajax. I can show you how it looks like. So this is a save, and you can see. Okay, here there is console ID. Here we are just checking if name, email, and the course are empty. If not empty, then this was for student ID, name, email, and the course. This was save. This was output, which was adding new added row in database, in table. So here it is student ID dot val. This is a table. This is form reset to clean the form. This is STUID. This is delete. You can see button delete. Here there is SID. There is a delete. My this dot cross SST fade out, so as the deleted row can disappear. Well, this is edit, and as you can see here, button edit, console log, blah blah, and this is okay. I can show you. This is my views. Okay, this was for home, rendering information of all students and rendering empty form to the home page. This is for save. Okay, yeah, okay, this is for save data in the model. So if SID is equal to null, save, but if SID is equal to something, means we need to just edit, then we save something like this. Awesome. This is for delete. You can see it is short and clear, and this is for editing. Okay, this is for editing. You can see. So thank you so much. See you in the next tutorial. I hope you have enjoyed my masterpiece tutorial. In Spanish they say obra maestra tutorial. Thank you. See you in the next tutorial.
Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notification.